We have a quorum, and we're here today to consider the committee's budget views and estimates for the fiscal year 2021. This is required by the Congressional Budget Act and is in compliance with House rules. It's something we do every year. This should be a quick meeting because our ask in this letter is equally simple. We're just asking them not to cut our programs. You know, we did a farm bill, we paid for it, we were responsible. We shouldn't be criticized for doing the right thing. Our programs, over which we have jurisdiction, are designed and built to handle the uncertainty that agriculture or other forces can dish out. And we should also be prepared to talk about what additional help we may need to provide, especially as our farmers are faced with a growing number of questions related to weather conditions for spring planting, lack of access to international markets, and other hurdles in the economy. We are also facing a situation where the working poor and our vulnerable populations, school kids and the elderly, may have a hard time accessing food. We're in a place where it's likely we will need more resources, not fewer, to address the situation that faces both our farmers and those who need to eat. So that's our ask. Fund our programs at the levels we've set forth to ensure that the safety net is available to both populations, and know that we may need to address both situations if we find that the safety net is not adequate for either. So with that, I recognize the distinguished ranking member from Texas for any remarks that he might have.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I support the committee's budget views and estimates letter, which remains faithful to our commitment on the committee to keep these letters bipartisan. If I did have a concern to express, it's that our nation's farmers and ranchers are entering the 7th year of recession. They've been beaten up pretty badly by natural disasters, as you know personally, Mr. Chairman, and they've also had to deal with a number of years of trade disruption due to the unjustified retaliatory tariffs of China. And we finally got the USMCA done last year in a bipartisan manner. Phase 1 of an agreement with China is also done, and that will be of great support when it actually takes off. So my concern here is that the budget views and estimate letter does not contemplate any contingency funding to help our farmers and ranchers weather the current storm when they're facing absent a turnaround very soon. Unless things do turn around, I believe we'll need additional help if we want to keep our farmers and ranchers producing food, fuel, and fiber. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I thank the gentleman, and the first order of business today is to adopt the committee's budget views and estimates letter that was prepared in consultation with the ranking member, Mr. Conaway, and must be submitted to the Budget Committee pursuant to the Congressional Budget Act and House rules. So I now recognize the ranking member for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee approve the letter regarding its views and estimates so that it may be forwarded to the Budget Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Conaway. Now, that is a debatable motion. So does any member wish to discuss the letter? Hearing no discussion, the question is on the motion offered by the gentleman from Texas to approve the letter. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed signify by saying nay. In opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the letter is approved. Does any member wish to file any supplement, minority, or additional views to the letter that will be transmitted to the Budget Committee? Hearing none. I guess you might have some time. You can do it. And if you want to do something, you have to get it to the council's office by 12 p.m. on the 13th of March. As members were notified yesterday, we intend to consider 2 additional bipartisan measures pursuant to the notice of purpose of markup. So I now call up the first measure, House Resolution 189, recognizing the importance of sustained United States leadership in accelerating global progress against maternal and child malnutrition and supporting the United States Agency for International Development's commitment to global nutrition through multi-sectoral nutrition strategy. Does the ranking member wish to be recognized?
No, sir, not at this time.
So, Mr. McGovern, I now recognize you for 5 minutes. You're a co-sponsor.
I'll be very brief. I'm very proud to join with my colleague and good friend, Mr. Marshall, in introducing HRES 189, and I thank him for his leadership. The U.S. is a leader in promoting maternal and child nutrition, and Congress has always led the way with strong bipartisan support for these programs. There's still so much more to do, and I urge all my colleagues to support this important resolution. I yield back.
Thank the gentleman, and now recognize the other co-sponsor of the resolution, Dr. Marshall, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and let me echo my enjoyment working with the congressman from Massachusetts and the leadership he's shown in this nutritional area, and my concern for the adequate nutrition of women and children, especially pregnant women. My mentor, Senator Bob Dole, called USAID one of the proudest accomplishments of his life. It's helped feed over 40 million children. I've had the privilege of working with Rotary Club internationally and working as a physician doing mission work across this world, from Haiti to Kenya to Central America, and experience and see poverty and malnutrition firsthand and its impact on the health and well-being. This country is blessed with the ability to grow food like no other, and we're honored to get to share it with the rest of the world. This resolution is a statement of our continued commitment to help feed the 150 million children across the world, and especially those 20% that are stunted or undernourished. This is a continued commitment from this country that we are committed towards world peace, that we're committed to doing what our part is in the world. So I'm very proud to present this resolution. It currently has 154 co-sponsors. It's been non-controversial, passed out of the Foreign Affairs Committee on a voice vote last year. And just want to finally just recognize all the great work that USAID has done to combat maternal and child malnutrition through a multi-sectoral nutrition strategy. So we're proud to be here today and proud to represent Kansas, continue to represent Kansas for USAID. Thank you so much. I yield back.
Thank the gentleman. Do any other members wish to be recognized? If not, hearing no further discussion, the committee will proceed with H.R. Resolution 189. Without objection, the resolution is considered as read, and the Subcommittee on Livestock and Foreign Agriculture is discharged from further action. Does any member at this time have an amendment to the resolution? Hearing none, I recognize the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Conaway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that H.R. 189 be favorably reported to the House.
The question is on reporting H.R. 189 favorably to the House. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the resolution is approved. Thank you. I next call up H.Res. 742, recognizing the success of the Food for Peace Act. Does the ranking member wish to be recognized?
No, sir, not this time.
Thank the gentleman. I now recognize the co-sponsor of the resolution, Mr. Costa, for 5 minutes.
I thank the chair, the ranking member, and those of us who are members of this committee. I am pleased to bring before the committee a resolution that Mr. Rausser and I have introduced to mark the many successes of the Food for Peace Act that has for decades been a strongly endorsed bipartisan effort. I think it reflects some of the best intentions of our country. In the United States, we are the world's leader in producing and providing food not only for America's dinner table every night at the highest quality and the best yields, but we are able to produce more than we can consume, and we can export these food products around the world for a multitude of benefits. Nobody does it better than the American farmer, dairyman, and woman, and ranchers in terms of producing food for our country and many parts of the world. It is a national security issue. As such, it's part of our responsibility to provide American-grown products to hungry people in need. It's estimated that there are over 90 million, and I think that number is low, that are going to be required to have food assistance around the globe this year. This measure complements the previous measure that we just voted on. I think that amount is 5 times higher than it was just a few years ago. I'm especially glad that we're talking about this issue, given that we are going to be holding a subcommittee hearing following this committee hearing on agricultural trade, a critical part of American agriculture. We know that Open global markets require political stability and economic security. Food for peace is often the first steps in reclaiming stability in times of crisis in different parts of the world where we know that instability leads to all types of chaos and havoc in those countries around the world. I'm proud of the American people, especially American agriculture, that we play in delivering this aid. I want to thank the committee for their consideration of this resolution. I urge you to support it with my colleague, Congressman Rouser.
Thanks, gentlemen. I recognize Mr. Rouser, the other co-sponsor of the resolution, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to voice my strong support for this resolution and the Food for Peace program, which over the past 65 years has given hope and fed more than 4 billion hungry people in some 150 countries. Just as we have food assistance programs for American citizens who truly need it, Food for Peace is a further demonstration of the compassion of the American people for those who are less fortunate, with the added benefit of promoting American interest overseas. It's a tiny fraction of the federal budget, but yields tremendous returns by helping to bring stability in troubled parts of the world just by feeding those who are hungry. The tangible and intangible benefits are too numerous to properly count. I'm proud to join Chairman Acosta and my other colleagues in recognizing Food for Peace for the contributions it has made to reduce hunger around the world and better secure our nation. I urge the committee's support of the resolution. I yield back.
Now, thank the gentleman. And do any other members wish to be recognized on the resolution? Hearing none, and no further discussion, the committee will proceed with H.R. 742. Without objection, the resolution is considered as read, and the Subcommittee on Livestock and Foreign Agriculture is discharged from further action. Does any member have an amendment to this resolution? Hearing none, I recognize the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Conaway, for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that H.R.S. 742 be reported favorably to the House.
The question is on reporting H.R. 742 favorably to the House. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the resolution is approved. And with that, the meeting on the full committee is adjourned.